So for our group company project, we decided on Caterpillar Incorporated. Um, I completed this project along with Rocco and Connor. So a brief overview and history of the company. It began in 1925 when Holt Manufacturing Company and CL Best Tractor Co. merged. Benjamin Holt developed the first successful track tractor around 1904. That same year, the company produced its first motor grader, which expanded beyond tractors into broader construction equipment. Nowadays, its most iconic and best-selling products are its track-type tractors like the Caterpillar 60 and the modern dozers that they produce. For stock history, CAT's development has been shaped by different major acquisitions, technological innovation, and global economic cycles. They expanded its capabilities through different purchases around 1981, 2006, 2011. Caterpillar's stock performance reflects its ties to construction demand, global infrastructure spending, and mining commodity cycles. The company's share price has grown over the past decades, trading around $600 as of late 2025. CAT relies on large factories, advanced machines, steel engines, and skilled engineers to produce its construction and mining equipment. Because of this, the company builds huge, complex machines that are mostly capital intensive, meaning they depend heavily on expensive equipment and technology rather than just mainly on human labor. Caterpillar gains a competitive advantage by keeping control of the most important parts of its machines, such as its engines, power systems, and major components and factories, which they produce in-house to maintain quality and protect its technology. At the same time, Caterpillar outsources many smaller or standard parts to suppliers around the world to reduce costs and keep production flexible. They also source materials and components from around the world and operate factories in different multiple countries, making it a highly global company. This global presence allows Caterpillar to balance regional demand fluctuations and access diverse suppliers to support efficient production. Caterpillar's main markets include construction companies, mining operations, infrastructure agencies, and energy producers worldwide. The company faces trade barriers such as tariffs on steel and heavy equipment, import taxes, and regulatory restrictions in certain countries. These factors can raise costs or affect prices, requiring Caterpillar to manage its global supply chains carefully.
Caterpillar's demand comes mainly from construction, mining, and infrastructure jobs, which these companies in their sector grow, and they have to need to purchase more heavy machinery, which the interest rates and general economic conditions are also affected, and the businesses are having to spend more. Caterpillar supply relies on global factors, automation, manufacturing of their own engines, components. Protection level depends on input costs and access to materials like steel, electronics, and also the global shipment conditions. The demand slope downwards because buyers purchase more when prices fall. Supply slopes upwards because production supplies more when prices rises. The intersection of the two curves and the equilibrium price and quantity shift occurs when demand rises or falls when supply change due to production costs or shortage. Impacts on Caterpillar's pricing and production. If demand rises for Caterpillar, increased production and also may rise prices. If demand falls, it may offer slower production. When supplies are restricted and there's material shortage, prices increase or production targets are reduced. When supply improves, CAT can manufacture more at a lower cost. Caterpillar's heavy equipments tend to have relevant inelastic demands in the short run. Customers like construction, mining, and industrial firms often still need machinery even when prices rises because those machines are essential for their operations. Price changes typically don't drastically reduce quantity demanding because it's an important thing for their job. what price elasticity means for cat. Inelastic demands allows Caterpillar to maintain strong pricing powers. The company can increase prices during periods of high demand or inflation without losing many customers. This helps protect profit margins when production cost rises. This allows them to control their market when they want with less problems. Caterpillar's production generally has high income elasticity when it comes to national income rises and the economic growth. Companies invest more in construction and in infrastructure and in mining equipment. Cat benefits heavily from these economic expansions. Caterpillar has positive cross-price elastic with substitutes such as Volvo and Deere equipment. If competitors raise their prices, Cat becomes more attractive to customers. Caterpillar also has negative cross-price elasticity with components like fuel, replacement parts, and operating costs. If these become more expensive, demand for Cat equipment can decrease. Labor productivity and measurements. Labor productivity at Caterpillar is measured by the amount of output due per worker at a labor hour. This includes the number of machines assembled, components manufactured, or values of equal products relative to the labor input. Automation and advance in robotics also improve productivity by reducing time per unit and minimize human error. Fixed fixed costs in Caterpillar's operations. Fixed costs includes factory facilities, long-term equipment, R&D, engineer centers, robotic systems, corporation salaries, and long-term maintenance contracts. These costs remain the same even when output levels changes. Some various costs in the Caterpillar's operations include the steel, hydraulics, electronics, engineering, shipping, and energy used, and the hourly hour that people work. These costs increase as more machinery is produced and decreases when the production of machines slow. Economics on a scale. Caterpillar benefits slightly from economics on scale. Large product production volume allows the company to buy materials at low cost, spreading R&D and factories expenses over many units and achieving lower per unit manufacturing costs. Larger scale operations allow support global distribution and aftermarket services.
Many factors collide to the creation of the market structure overview of the Caterpillar company. The company competes in a global oligopoly for construction and or mining equipment. Uh, Products have many differences. They sell products such as technology, they sell products for durability, as well as dealer support products. High entries to high entry barriers exist in the company. Massive capital costs, advanced engineering and global network costs, they all add up to the high barriers of entry. Significant pricing power due to brand strength and high switching costs also adds up to the market structure overview, as well as how the industry is shaped by cyclical demand, trade policy, and infrastructure spending. Onto the competitive position of the company. Caterpillar operates in an industry that's characterized by a few large machinery companies, making it part of the oligopoly. This market structure allows major firms like Caterpillar to influence pricing and establish industry standards. Caterpillar's biggest strength is arguably its worldwide dealer network, which makes it easy for customers to get dependable service. Even when the economy or construction markets shift, the reliability of the company keeps it standing. Because of this, Caterpillar has the ability to maintain higher holds on their value over long periods of time. Buyers are often willing to pay more for machines that they know will last, hold their value, and come with support that they can count on, rather than choosing a cheaper but less dependable option. Government regulations and market environment. Caterpillar does not operate in a completely free market, as government regulation plays a major role in the future of the company. Agencies such as the EPA and the EU set certain boundaries for Caterpillar to follow. Requirements force the company to create engines designed to expel emissions, improve fuel efficiency, and reduce danger to the environment. The company is also required to follow certain workplace standards regarding safety. Additionally, customers also deal with certain regulations essentially influencing the type of equipment that they purchase. As a public company, Caterpillar must follow SEC regulations and international laws when operating outside of the domestic market. These rules dictate Caterpillar's decisions in production, research, and pricing strategies. Externalities. Caterpillar has a significant influence on its surroundings, both favorably and unfavorably. On the downside, especially in mining and construction, their large machinery can cause noise, produce emissions, and cause disturbance in the area. These massive machines require a lot of raw material and energy to manufacture, but there are also many positive aspects to the Caterpillar uh, design. Caterpillar is a major player in building infrastructure, generating employment, and advancing technology that can increase productivity and safety at work. They're concentrating on cleaner engine designs, electric machinery, and fuel-efficient technologies to reduce their environmental impact in order to address some of the negative effects caused by their company. Additionally, they have a significant remanufacturing program that ensures outdated engines and parts will be fixed and repurposed rather than just being thrown away.
So for our SWOT analysis, after researching, we've come up with a couple of different concepts. The first concept is the strengths, and to focus on primarily for the strengths is how they are great at creating and innovating durable, reliable, and powerful machines for the construction industry as well as the mining industry. Its global brand reputation is very, very strong, and CAT is involved with a large worldwide dealer network. They have a massive international presence, a diversified customer base, and they maintain a drive and a heavy passion towards working on advanced engines and becoming involved in powertrain technology in different industries.
Weaknesses. Cat has a few weaknesses to keep in mind though. Regardless of its strengths, in the blue collar industry, their weaknesses revolve mainly around a heavy reliance of industries like construction, mining, energy, which makes its sales vulnerable and during slowdowns. Economic economy Economically, they also operate with high pressure and capital costs, leaving it exposed when demand softens. Caterpillar also faces ongoing pressure for fluctuating prices for raw materials and a slower adoption of newer electronic technology compared to emerging competitors. Factories Factors like these can create challenges during periods of global market instability.
Opportunities. Caterpillar's opportunities come from expanding into new, fast-growing markets and technologies. Many countries are increasing investment in roads, energy systems, and mining projects, creating more demand for heavy equipment. CAT also has room to grow, though, through advanced technologies such as remote operation, automation, and data-driven maintenance services, which can raise efficiency for customers and create uh, recurring revenue. These areas give Caterpillar clear pathways to expand beyond traditional machinery sales, keeping them a successful company. Threats. Caterpillar's main threats include economic downturns that reduce construction and mining demand, rising competition from lower cost global manufacturers, and trade barriers that can disrupt and dispute sales. Um, Stricter environmental regulations also add pressure for rapid innovation, creating uncertainty for the company's long-term performance.
So for December 2025, based off of our current evaluation and analysis of CAT's well-being, as of now, we think Caterpillar should be rated as a hold stock. This is because the company remains financially solid with strong cash flow, steady dividends, and a healthy long-term outlook driven by global infrastructure and energy demand. However, recent quarters have shown softer equipment demand and margin pressure, and uncertainty in construction, mining, and global trade could limit short-term upside. CAT is stable and well-positioned as of now, but not clearly undervalued, making it a smart choice to hold rather than aggressively buy as a stock.